Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Hyperstrange were nice enough to give me access to their early access title Supplice, which is another boomer shooter on the Steam market at the moment. And I've played about an hour of this, and I do want to share some thoughts so far on how am I enjoying this game, what its pros and cons. So if you didn't know, Supplice is essentially made on the Doom source port engine. For anyone in the Doom community who's well aware of what that is, it's one of the most popular source ports for Doom. But this is not using any Doom assets from my understanding. This is completely built from the ground up and only using that engine as its driver. So Supplice, what is it? Well, as I said, it's a boomer shooter. My first impressions, I suppose, are probably considered a little bit bland. Lots of greys, some dark areas, but overall serviceable. And I think that is kind of how I'm feeling in general after my hour of play. The game is serviceable. There is some fun to be had, don't get me wrong, especially this sexy shotgun. They've really got nailed down the shotgun, right? Feedback-wise and everything else. Feels very, very much like an actual Doom mod. And maybe my first point of critique on this is the fact is it's 15 euros on the store at the moment for early access of, again, what should be considered Doom community mod, really. But being sold at pretty hefty retail price there of 15 euros. So that might be off-putting for some. But let's talk about some pros as well, because as I said, it's fun to play, although it can be quite familiar. I've done a lot of these boomer shooters over the years on the channel, and there is quite a saturation in the market at the moment. So getting one to stand out from the other can be tricky at times. As I said, serviceable texture work, enemy design, common sound design. Okay, again, it's what I feel about it. I am happy, I said, with the weapons. I think some stuff really that's kind of maybe it's not very inspiring. I know I sound ultra negative when I'm talking about this, but I do want to critique this fairly. And as I said, I've played so many of these recently. It could definitely benefit from a couple of changes. The one big change I think this actually needs is the size of the maps. They are absolutely massive. They're taking about 30 minutes just to beat one level. And I think games of this nature could really benefit from shorter, snappier levels. Maybe, 5 to 10 minutes in size at best, given the nature of the game itself. The other thing as well is to kind of counteract that somewhat is I do like the actual map design. And what I mean the map design is that the actual Doom map, where you can actually see where you're supposed to be going in any given level. And let me just take these guys out first, and then I will pause to show folks the map. And you can see here when I press tab, it's actually quite functional, and it's much better than the, I suppose, standard Doom map that you would get in any particular Doom game, because it does give you key indicators and it actually shows you where you need to go and where your next objective is, given by the objective indicator on the map. Now that's hugely beneficial considering, as I said, the size of the levels. So thank God there is that map to show you ballpark where you need to go. I really think people will get lost in this if they don't use that map. It's essential that they do so. Some other things to discuss as well. I think the music is actually quite good, and the weapon feedback and weapon sounds in general are enjoyable. I mentioned earlier that maybe the sounds for the enemy designs could be a little bit, better. They're a bit bland, kind of groans and grunts at best. But then again, they are monsters, so I'm not sure how far you could take the sound design there. It is using some, I suppose, some of the enhanced features from the GZ Doom port, and you can see the explosive work there is pretty impressive. Now I have some of the texture filtering on and stuff like that to make this look as good as it can possibly look. Yeah, kind of overall, I'd say serviceable at best. And I'm nearly dead here. Oh god, get out of there. serviceable is how I feel about this game in its entirety. I know it sounds like I'm complaining a lot here, but I really am trying to fairly critique these games, and the fact is there's so many of them in the market. You really have to justify the fact that you're going to pay €15 for an early access title. And in reality, you know, some people might consider this, you know, a Doom mod, and there's probably Doom mods out there that are actually probably of higher quality than this game in general. Overall, I think it's a fun title, but I think it needs a couple of things, as I mentioned. Reduce the price, I think. Reduce the price of entry, and in particular, for early access. I think would be a really good and smart idea. The other thing is, for future episodes, again, maybe consider stripping back the structure of the maps and making them quite shorter, rather than having these huge, massive maps, as I mentioned. I think sometimes I can get lost. I did say that the map helps, which is a benefit. But overall, look, if you're considering of picking this up, I would maybe wait for a sale. I know it's on a Steam sale now. I think it's dropped to maybe €11. I'd still think that's quite pushing it. Maybe a €10 max would be the price I would pay. Maybe give it some time, let it come out of early access, and see what can be done to improve the title. Hopefully this has helped, folks. And yeah, I wanted to try and be as honest as possible about this. And, you know, it's not just because, oh, I was given a copy of the game for free, that I'm not going to share my honest opinions. What you get here is honesty. And yeah, hopefully folks enjoyed this video. And if you're new to the channel, please consider like and subscribe, and it really helps. Drop a comment down below, and I will chat to you in the next video. Thanks for watching.